It's the You Name It show for Friday, March something. I don't know what it is.
Hey, Jerry.
What will it be? What?
Tonight's topics.
Yeah, tonight's topics.
I would like to discuss the current political state during the election years and its volatile impact on the financial markets here and abroad, specifically the effects on the mineral and industrial sectors, as well as the overall interest rates pertaining to both imports and exports in a democratic and philanthropic society. What do you think?
Yeah. I don't think that's going to happen because you had such a hard time reading it to start with.
You know what? Fuck that, Jerry. Let's talk about shit.
Yeah, let's talk about poop.
No, I just want to bitch about the goddamn guy in the concierge level that thinks his shit doesn't stink.
Wait, you don't want to bitch about politics? Let's do that real quick because we never do. Here we go. I think all those people are stupid.
I agree. Okay.
Yeah.
Done with politics.
Well, it's true, though. The only statement that I'm willing to make now is that I've realized that our entire society is full of idiots, and that includes Trump people and Clinton people and Sanders people. Everybody's an idiot. And I've come to the decision after watching these Trump riots. Have you seen these Trump fights?
Yeah.
And then people are going, look what your people do. And then somebody else is going, well, look at the Democrats and the Black Lives Matter people. And I've realized that the world is full of idiots. And when you get a crowd of people together, the smart people aren't the ones controlling the crowd. It's the big meathead idiots that control the crowd. So it's not like there's any thought going on behind anything. Like, your ideology sucks. Look at you riot. Well, anybody does when you get a bunch of jackasses in a giant group. You know?
Did you see the CNN clip of the 24-year-old?
I don't know what that means. No, I must not have. The 24-year-old what?
Oh, when they were pulling the riots in Chicago and like disrupting the Trump rally, there was a little 24-year-old girl in the background, and she's yelling and screaming. And the reporter grabbed her, pulled her up, and asked her, why she was, so appalled, and she had no answer. She was just there to freaking riot.
Oh, yeah. She's just there to cause trouble.
She has no idea what any of the people stand for or any of that. She's just like, all her friends were like, hey, we're going to go do this. Let's go do this. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, let's just go fuck everybody's time up. Everybody's good time. Why don't you just leave each other alone? That'd be a good one.
One man, one vote. Woo!
I don't even care about that. I'm sick of people getting all angry about shit. It's politics. Stop it. Stop worrying about it so much.
America.
How you doing, Jerry? Larry's here.
Oh, Larry Wayne Ferris?
Yeah, we were talking about, I'm in Texas. We'll get to your thing, but now that you made me do a southern accent, I'm in Texas, and everybody knows Texas. I almost was going to name this episode, It's Getting Hot in Texas Part 3.
Or 5 or 7 or whatever.
Right. But I was talking to Larry, and we were talking about big techs again.
Okay.
And I had him rolling because I was doing the impression, hello, everybody. Welcome to the Texas State Fair. Doing that whole deal that everybody's doing that dumb impression. But then I was going, someone goes, don't forget to wash your hands. And then I go, don't forget to bring the family down to the bull milking display. And that got Larry talking. I couldn't believe how much he knew about extracting semen from a bull.
Oh, that's so wrong.
You see, Jerry, what you got to do is you take an electric probe and you jam that thing in there, and then it's called ejaculation. He's like trying to explain it to me as if I didn't know what ejaculation was. Like it was some scientific term that nobody knew.
Oh, Lord. Is he anally ejaculating the bull?
I don't think so, but I can ask him later because I'll see him when I go start the show up.
Yeah, let me know because I can't live without hearing that.
Yeah. I wish I could.
My day just can't go on without that.
Yeah. Hey, Larry. I'll just walk in there. Larry, I have a question for you. When you were talking about ejaculating bulls, was there any anal ejaculation going on? And then he would look at me and go, "What you talking about, Jerry?" Get all mad because he's like, how old do you think that guy is? He's probably like 60-something to 70-something, right?
Oh, yeah, he's up there. Larry Wayne Ferris.
I love that guy. You know what he did for me? He went and picked up some smokes on the way into work because there's no place to buy them here.
Did he break the filters off and smoke them like a Marlboro man?
Yeah, and then while he was doing it, he kicked the shit out of 3 hippies. I don't know where he found hippies, but he was really up on that. He had cowboy boots with steel tips on the front of them.
Nice.
That's dumb. Larry's a great guy. I like that guy.
Shout out to Larry Wayne Ferris.
Yeah, shout out to Troy from Jack Morton. He's here.
How's he doing?
He's gone today. He was doing very well yesterday. We had some laughs, especially when I told him he wasn't the funny one in the family.
Oh, that his cousin's the funny one.
Yeah, I think Todd's hilarious. You, not so much. I was just fucking with him though. He knew what I was doing.
Yeah, he came right from my show to yours. I took him out the night before, and we were the night before he left, or 2 nights before he left, and we went and shot golden tea and drank some beers. It was fun.
Nice guy. Because I think we should, when we get back in town, we'll have Todd on. But then we should actually have Troy come in the week after that, and then we'll have a cousin off at some point.
and see which one gets better ratings.
Yeah. Because, I like Todd. I think Todd's hilarious, and you may think he's a little high-paced. But I think he's hilarious. And then Troy is like sort of the opposite. He's kind of laid back a little bit.
In Texas, they're both there for the Texas State Fair.
Yeah.
And I think people thought that they were like lovers or something, and not cousins. It's like because you can't tear them apart. They're like at the hip.
Lovers.
You always see them together. You always see them together running around, and they're all dressed in their button-down shirt in 106-degree weather.
Yeah, but they have similar voices too. If you listen to it, there's something in the middle of their voice that's very similar. It's not super obvious, but I noticed it with Troy. I started thinking, yeah, when he says that, he sounds just like Todd. But
They were cracking up at me in Texas, though. They were coming back in my little tent. It's like I said, it's like 106 degrees. I got 7 fans going, and I'm sitting there shirtless, watching movies, and they walk back to change the batteries on their iPad or whatever.
Davin, you are a real man. That's what you are.
It didn't even faze them, though. That's the funny part. They just come, go to the cage, get what they needed, and walk out, say hi or whatever.
That's such bizarre activity to me. I am not a shirt taker offer, and you're a real man. That's what you are. You're like an old-fashioned 1973 dad.
Dude, it was fucking hot as hell.
Still. I didn't even use that head rag thing that you bought for me for the heat. I waited 4 days until I finally broke down and used it, remember?
And then when you used it, you thought it was brilliant, didn't you?
I'm going to use it all the time now. But I still am not going to take my shirt off and sit there with my old belly hanging out and man boobs and,
I'm in a tent by myself. Nobody even knows I'm back there except those guys.
Yeah, metformin pimples.
Grilling up lunch,
Yeah, so I commend you, sir, on your manliness.
Fuck off, Jerry.
Fuck off. That was an actual compliment.
No way.
I don't have the confidence to do that. I don't have enough I don't give a shit to do that.
Oh, and I'm so out of giving a shit right now. We were talking about that the other day. I've reached the point in the year where I don't have enough shits to give.
Yeah.
And we talked about it at dinner, and then the next day I'm in that tunnel walking over. I'm in Minneapolis, walking over to the convention center, and this well-dressed African-American gentleman with a hat, full suit, tie, everything walks up to me. Young man, you look like someone who wants to do your good deed for the day.
You got to be kidding me, because I know this guy.
Oh, God. I go, oh my God, here it comes. He reaches out, shakes my hand. He goes, I'm trying to get $22 to get to Kansas City on the Greyhound. would you be able to help me out? And I said, oh, wow, we were just talking about this at dinner the other night. I am so out of fucks. And he kind of looked at me. He looked at me funny. And I go, you know when you reach that point where you just don't give a fuck? That's me. And I kept walking.
No way you talked to him. Well, it's a good thing you said that to him, because did you tell Tamara Dillard from Chevy about that?
I did not tell her that story, but she told me to ask you about your experience in the tunnels, the habit trails, last year.
Yeah, that's where we're going with this. Because she and I were walking to the show floor, and the well-dressed black guy, looks like a preacher, tall guy, wide too.
It's the same guy.
Us. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You have to tell her, or tell her to listen to the show on Friday. But I'm standing there, and he goes into his spiel. But this time he was a preacher, you know. So he starts talking about the preacher thing, and he starts going into it. I can't remember the actual words, but I instantly caught on it, and I went, "Oh, I'm sorry, I can't help you." And then she's like going, "Oh, sir, she starts trying to be very nice to him, and then she goes, "But we're just going to work, but sorry, and maybe next time or whatever." And he goes, "Fuck you, white bitch," like that.
Wow.
Yeah, as we're walking away. And I looked back, and I just turned around, I looked back, and I go, "That's nice, real nice," just like that, And then she didn't hear him, though, because I go, "Didn't you hear that?" And she goes, "No," and I had to tell her that he just told you to fuck off, white bitch, and she's like, "What?" So when you see her, you have to tell her that you ran into the same guy pulling his scam.
And I told him to fuck off because I'm out of fucks.
Yeah, so that's
awesome.
That's the cool part. So you
had a nickname for him too, didn't you?
No, that's a different guy. So if everybody in the audience doesn't know, Minneapolis is set up with a system of habit trails, which is because apparently it's so cold in Minneapolis that they've decided to connect the entire city with tunnels. They're raised walkways. So you're walking through this whole habit trail. Well, there's this one guy who walks all day long from like the convention center down through the whole business to the hotels, and he doesn't bother you. He walks like a zombie, and he's just walking around. So we just nicknamed him the Walker, just like the Living Dead call him the Walkers. Yep. So he's just a weird dude. He doesn't bug you, but every time we would go out back and forth to the hotel, he would pass by, go in either direction, just going back and forth all day long.
Oh, nice.
But you got the crazy preacher. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, we also got confronted outside of the hotel. Troy was there, and Gilman Jr., James Gilman. Yeah. And this lady came up and started talking to Troy like she was his best buddy. Oh, where's that beautiful girl that was on your arms earlier and all this other stuff?
Yeah.
And Troy's going right along with it. It's like, I have no idea who this lady is or what girl she thinks or whatever. So I don't remember what she wanted, like $8 for something or $7 for something.
Yeah, it's always the odd number rule to make it sound legit somehow.
So Gilman reached in his wallet and handed her 10, thinking that's going to get rid of her. So then she has $3 more than she asked for. She immediately turned to Troy and said, "Well, what about the $7 you were going to give me?" And nice. He's like, "No." Yeah. She's like, well, I need to get some food at McDonald's. And then she starts talking about eating healthy. I'm like, there's nothing healthy at McDonald's. And why don't you use your $3 extra that you got and get something at McDonald's? Well, McDonald's has salads, Yeah. That was her big argument.
I would have said McDonald's has a $1 menu. You just got 10 foods.
Fucking assholes.
Doesn't Gilman's kid know not to do that? Or is that his brother? That's his brother, isn't it?
It's his brother.
Yeah.
He probably does. He probably just thinks, that would get rid of her, and it didn't. It just went on and on. It opened up a whole conversation about how she would never lie to anybody and everything else.
Yeah.
And she's...
When was the last time you did it?
treat her bad. Yeah.
When was the last time you gave somebody some cash?
I didn't. Did I in DC at all? I don't think I did in DC. I I haven't in a while.
You're an
I'm
asshole.
Tired of it. I am.
Actually, you probably have before I have, because I stopped like 3 seasons ago because I realized that there's problems when you do give out the cash. We walk back and forth to the convention center every day, and we'll pass some of the same people. So if you break down and give them a buck or give them a smoke or whatever, then they catch you every time after that. It just turns into a big deal. So
I gave a girl a smoke here, and she pulled out her ID, asked me for a cigarette, and then before I could say anything, already had her ID out to prove that she was of age to smoke.
Yeah, you did. That's on last week's show.
I'm like, she carded herself. Stupid people.
You're the one that listens to the show. You should know you already told that one.
Oh, I didn't listen to the last week's, I don't think. Who knows?
So there it is. There's bum talk. I have... let's get some of this stuff out of the way. Are you ready? Was that your phone or mine?
Yeah. It's probably mine because I just picked it up to look at my notes.
Oh, okay. Here's some stuff for the listeners that we never do. Let's talk a little bit about just common everyday bullshit that they run into. Not just... because we'll push off our Hyatt talk till later. Let's do some more stuff. First thing up on the schedule on my list. Do you ever watch that show America's Got Talent?
I've seen it before, yeah.
And then you have the singing shows. You got The Voice and you've got American Idol, right?
Right.
All right. I appreciate The Voice and I appreciate American Idol, and they've been great shows over the years if you like to watch people try and be singers and stuff. Those are all great. I see nothing wrong with those, and they both have their good qualities. But the one that bothers me is America's Got Talent because that show it shouldn't be called America's Got Talent. It should be called America's Got Dancers and Jugglers. That's what it should be called. Because it confuses me to think that like a dance troupe or a couple of guys that are juggling chainsaws or something are able to make a career out of it, because it's like a one-trick pony thing. A singer can just change songs and they have a whole full career because it's ever changing, and that's the thing. But how often are you going to go pay to watch a dance troupe or a juggler?
Yeah. Isn't the prize on that show to like appear in Vegas or something? Your own Vegas show?
I think so, yeah. So I guess if you're a juggler and they throw you into the middle of a Vegas review and that's your thing, but I don't see that as being a very valuable talent competition, because they're putting you against singers and musicians and comedians and all this stuff. It doesn't really fit together.
No, not at all.
That juggler is way better than that funny-ass comedian that can do different shit for the rest of his life, and that juggler can just juggle balls.
The one that I did see on that show that I thought was really impressive was the people that did the shadow dancing, where their shadows are making the story.
Yeah.
That one I thought was good.
But again, are you going to go pay $40 to watch them do it for an hour?
Fuck no.
Right. But they could be integrated into Cirque du Soleil, which is what I went and saw a Cirque du Soleil show in the summertime when I was doing a job in Vegas. And I think that was all over the show because I got a deal. I wrangled a deal. But they did the puppet thing you're talking about, too. They did like the shapes with people behind the deal turning into animals and stuff.
Yep.
That was pretty cool, but it was part of a larger thing.
Right. That whole show was just fuck that. And then you mentioned The Voice.
Yeah.
Where the hell? Okay, I can see the judges. Okay, they keep swapping the judges out every season.
Oh, they still keep like Blake Shelton and Maroon 5 guy Adam. What's his name? They've been there the whole time. But doesn't
Pharrell look like a fucking rat?
Mm-hmm.
He's just got a rat-looking face.
I guess a cartoon rat could be a good description for Pharrell.
I don't even know one of his fucking songs.
Episode 65, Pharrell is a cartoon rat.
He is.
If that's the episode we're on, I don't even know.
63 now, are we? Something like that.
Something. We're very professional. We know.
We've been trying to get this show out for the last 5 days, Jerry.
Yeah, but we're still early.
Yeah, I know. We're pushing it right to the edge.
Episode 64. There we go.
Nice.
That's what this one will be. Because we did baby suit bowling. You want to talk more about poop?
If you want to. Oh, before we do that, you mentioned baby suit bowling. How's my baby suit doing in Texas?
I don't know. It's on the dock.
Okay. I bet you got some good reactions to that one.
I did, and didn't we talk about it last week? No, I didn't know it was coming. You're right. Davin sent a special surprise in one of our support trunks, and it was his baby suit from his costume bowling party. And it was met with mixed reactions of laughter and awe and horror. So it was hilarious.
Did Rosemary ask you about it?
I haven't seen Rosemary yet.
Okay. She's going to ask you about it, I guarantee
Ask about the baby suit. There was only one person who was going to attempt to put it on until his dad told him to stop it. You don't want to put that thing on.
It's been on Davin.
Well, I had to add, in full disclosure, it's probably full of Davin sweat. Is what I said. But yeah, Bobby Abs was already had it going over his head before his dad stopped him. As though it was like some diseased Indian blanket, you know.
Nice. Oh, I got an update for you. Something you talked about. And this is a tip from our friend John Kivy. You were talking about ramen noodles and how you can't make ramen noodles in your hotel room.
Oh, okay.
So Kivy listened to the show and he told me, he goes, you tell Jerry he needs to make them in the coffee maker because that's how I do it.
Wow, what is he? But he still brings a bowl then, right?
He was saying, yeah, he heats the water up in the coffee maker, and then he buys one of those Ziploc bowls and puts it in there and closes the lid, puts all the seasoning in there, all that, and lets it sit, and the lid will actually pop when it's done.
Well, thank you, Mr. Kivy. I don't have any bad things to say about that. That's actually a good tip. The only thing I would add is that I probably won't carry a Ziploc bowl around because it takes up space in the suitcase, but I could probably steal one, you know?
Well, when he was telling me about it, I thought he meant putting the noodles in the coffee maker and then just, using the coffee pot as the bowl. And that might work too.
Yeah. But I can see where you could heat up the water into the pot or the cup and then pour that into the Ziploc container and let it sit. And then I was going to say, I could take my plastic headset microphone box and use that.
There you go.
Just so I could have some shitty Roman numerals. Yeah.
Well, that was actually designed as a lunch pail, so you can.
Was it really?
Yeah. Glenn, years ago, our audio engineer, found those online or something, and they were like sandwich containers, but they had the 4 latches on it, so it worked out great for what we do.
I'm doing it. I'm going to do it when I can find some Roman numerals. Thank you, Mr. Kivy, for your life hack. That was the life hack segment brought to you by Zarnowski.
You know where you can get ramen noodles is probably in the hotel gift shop right next to the Tide.
Yeah, but then we're back to the original problem. They're mixed in with all these dehydrated, shitty vegetables that taste terrible.
Yeah, that's true.
And then the flavors they usually have, shrimp. I don't even like shrimp. Why do I want a shrimp bolo noodles?
Flavored shrimp bolo noodles.
Yeah, screw that. But that would that would be easier because you could see John's perfectly right with this because you can heat up the hot water, throw it in the bowl of noodles too. If they had a good flavor. Look, I'm boring the shit out of everybody. Let's go back to poop.
Okay, talk about poop. Go ahead.
All right. So, Immucor is the. Did we talk about this last week? The Immucor vitamin supplement to keep from getting a cold on the road. Sort of like an airborne thing, but it's got vitamin C, ultra potent vitamin C times 10, which now multiple people have told me. This leads to a couple things, Davin. This first of all, this is the way people say things to you when they're trying to talk about something in particular, like this. This is the phrase. If you take too much vitamin C, it might give you stomach problems.
Yeah.
They don't really mean stomach problems when they say that. They mean asshole problems. Is what they mean.
It gives you the shits.
Yeah. We're all adults. You can tell me that a lot of vitamin C will cause the screaming shits. Or, as my good friend Walt Balfour says, you might have to take an earth, wind, and fire. Because there's some solid, there's some windy noise, and there's some fire going on, so that's what's going to happen. I got to take an earth, wind, and fire, man.
I'm trying to think of an Earth, Wind, and Fire song.
Yeah,
Do you know any?
Yeah, you're right. I don't even know what they sang. September.
Oh.
Wasn't that them? Earth, Wind, and Fire, September?
Yep, you could be sitting on the crapper singing September and just blowing it out.
Yeah, exactly. Do you remember when you didn't have fiery shits?
Oh. And don't you hate it?
Poopy Wonderland! Oh, sorry.
Don't you hate it when you take a dump and then like someone comes over or visits you and then immediately, can I use your restroom? And you're just going, oh Lord.
Yeah.
You want to warn them, but do you? You know, it depends on the status of friendship you have with that person. Or you warn them, or you let them just enjoy it.
Or it's the other way around, where you have someone come over to visit and they go, "Could I use your restroom?" And then they're gone for like 10 minutes, and you already know that you can't walk down that hall now.
Yep.
Because, again, with Earth, Wind, and Fire, because you have to wait until after the shit has gone. Oh, never mind. All right, I better stop torturing everybody with that shit there.
Oh.
What else did I have about poop? I don't know. I just wanted to bring up those two things about poop, I think. Oh, we did say one thing that was shit-related, and that was when we were talking about how I got kicked out of the hall when I was doing pre-wire setup, me and a bunch of guys. And and for all the listeners, Davin was thrown out of the hall on pre-wire too, because they have some weird insurance rule and they freak out and send security to escort you out. And so it happened to him. But the guy who we both had to deal with, who will remain nameless, is kind of a fucking dick, is what the problem is. So we decided that when we get back into town, Davin and I are going to send him a present. We're going to send him a box of shit. A shit box.
Well, we need to each individually shit in a bag, put it in that same box, and yes, send it to him.
Yeah. So we'll put a ribbon on it, and he'll get his very own shit box in the mail.
And with a nice little thank you note saying, thank you for all you did for us in Dallas at the State Fair.
Yes.
Or at the auto show.
Please enjoy this token of our appreciation.
Enjoy it with high regards. Your friends, Jerry and Davin.
And then we'll never work in Dallas again.
Nope. And then we got to send the kid.
Yeah.
Send the kid to Dallas next year.
You imagine that meeting with our superiors where you sit down and say, well, we have a little bit of an issue and we'd like to request that you don't send us there because there may be a problem. Well, what happened, you guys? What's wrong? Well, we shit in a box and sent it to this guy. What?
Because he was such a dick.
Well, I guess we're in a corner now. What's wrong with you people? You're fired.
But we said thank you.
Yeah. We had a nice note. It had a ribbon on the box, and we did the note in calligraphy.
It was all formal and everything. Mm-hmm. We even used the company FedEx to send it to him.
Yeah, and it probably wouldn't be as bad, but Davin had to take an Earth, Wind, and Fire.
After a bag of peanuts.
Right. I have another personal issue that I'd like to discuss with you, Davin.
Oh, is it bodily? Or is it...
It's related to my physiology. Yeah, and people will probably notice it, but if not, you'll notice it now. All right.
Okay.
I had the tooth knocked out, and
yes.
I still have the temporary. Sorry, someone was some people were contacting. disregard. But I have the temporary, which is like an Invisalign thing, so I don't go around looking like I'm running the hog removal service.
Okay.
But what happens is the thing feels so weird in your mouth. You're always biting down on it, you know? And then I realized I probably look like a cokehead because I look like I have coke jaw. I'm constantly grinding my jaw around,
Oh, nice.
know? When I'm talking to people and I'm thinking, these people probably think I'm a cokehead.
No, they just think you're pompous, arrogant, and use big words to make them feel weaker about their own lives.
Wait a minute. Accurate, yes. I will say.
I had to get that in, Jerry, because I was listening to one of our older shows, and I sat back and I'm going, Jerry sounds like he's a real pompous asshole.
That's true.
And he comes across as a know-it-all.
Yep.
And I come across as a dumb, racist hick.
That's the routine. No, it's true. At least I have this self-awareness to know that I'm a fucking asshole.
But you wear it well, Jerry.
Well, it's not going to bother me because, when this show grows to great heights, and everybody starts noticing what a dick I am, then I have to be prepared for the backlash. So, Are you saying that you want me to act a little bit nicer now?
No, not at all.
Oh, okay.
I was just pointing it out.
Oh, okay.
In case our listeners didn't pick up on the fact that sometimes you're a little too highbrow for our audience.
Sometimes.
Then again, maybe I'm too lowbrow for our audience.
No,
so
I'm not. I'm not highbrow. I'm like what Lisa tells me. I'm just a condescending prick.
Yeah,
is what it is. So I'm sorry, but at least I'm aware of the fact that I have that problem.
But I'm starting to turn into that too because I'm just an asshole to people now. Well, ever since we started doing the show, I'm like, the edit switch and the give a fuck is gone, so I'm out there.
That may have added to it, but
I
remember how I used to say that I started getting my bad attitude from you, remember? I would say, you're ruining me. I'm starting to notice all this shit that goes on in our weird road lives, and so I'm starting to act like you.
The longer you experience it, now you understand.
Yeah, I think I plateaued, though. I think now I'm at this place where it's acceptance of all the shit that we have to go through, and I just deal with it. For instance, your problem with Hyatt, what was it?
Oh, I'm just tired of the fuckers. The guys up in the concierge thing is just such an arrogant ass.
Is his name Jerry?
No, probably Peter.
Uh-oh.
Anyway, I was up there and they act as if it's like they're letting you into this private viewing of something or this super special thing.
Yeah.
Because first of all, evidently, if you don't have status, you can buy your way in, but it's $40 a day.
Yeah.
So I was up there the other day just getting some snacks, and it's crappy snacks compared to what some of the other hotels have. We were talking about that. But there was a husband and wife that came up, and he asked for them to sign the book. And the husband goes over, signs the book. He looks up the guy's room number, and it shows one occupant. Yeah. So then he has the nerve to call the guy over to the desk, and there's other people in the concierge lounge. He says, "Is this your wife, Mr. Walters," or whatever the guy's name was?
Yeah.
And he's like, "Why, yes, it is." "Well, she can't be up here until we rectify this because your room shows only one occupant. So we need to get this rectified. Otherwise, she can't be in here right now."
Really?
In front of everybody. Embarrassing. And then the guy looks at him like, "Who the fuck are you?" And then the concierge proceeds to explain, "Well, it's for fire safety reasons."
What?
And I'm sitting back here going, what the fuck is this guy spewing? And he said, "Well, because, we're a private floor and you need the key to get up here, we need to know where people are in case there's a fire and we have to shut down the elevators."
That's such bullshit.
I'm like, where the fuck is this guy coming up with this shit? But Nazi. I mean, you might as well put the Nazi fucking swastika on him to protect his little fucking cheese balls and his little goddamn sausages cut up in his canned artichokes that he just dumped on a fucking... Fuck you, buddy. Fuck you. And your little tip jar. Fuck you. You didn't do shit.
Your tip jar is going to remain empty, you dick.
Here's a tip.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
I don't get part of that because so wait a minute. The guy was one of the purchased ones, or was he Diamond?
He was Diamond, but because his hotel room only had one registered guest, he was only allowed to bring one person up. So they needed to put his wife's name on the hotel room. And
that's
who knows
bullshit.
If it was...
You can have guests in that room. In fact, maybe your Hyatt is different, but in my Hyatt, I can have 4 guests for breakfast. You know, they're not all staying in my room.
Lovely.
I call jackass on that guy. That guy's just being a dick.
Yep.
And he's going to check the registry, ask the guy what his room number is and everything, as if was it overcrowded?
No, not at all.
See?
And he always has leftovers and stuff. He just wants to take the food home. There was another girl that walked in that must have snuck in, and she walked in as if she owned the place. She said hi, and she starts making herself a plate, and and he went right up to her and says, "Miss, I need you to sign the registry."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, I already signed in at breakfast." And he goes, "Oh, well, let me just reference that. What is your name and room number?"
Right.
And she stumbled a little bit because she snuck in, and he said, "Okay, well, I'm gonna have to ask you to leave."
He's like
and walked right. He's like the bouncer. Like he should have been a bouncer at some high end club or something.
He's a Regency Club bouncer. Hyatt's going to get an email from me, and then I might even hire the beard Peter Murray to write a tweet for me, because that shit bugs me, and it also bugs me that we get these platinum or these diamond or whatever it is 4 upgrades a year we can use, but you can't use them because they always tell you that they're booked. You know,
right?
When we know they're not. When you know that there's suites waiting for people, they're not going to give them all away to other people either. So you know they're sitting there waiting for someone to pay for them instead. But the real problem is, okay, I can get it if you get booked up in a few days or whatever. But I check to see if at any point during my 17-day stay or whatever it is that they could put me into a suite so I could use one of those certificates. And they say, well, we could do these 2 nights, which is Friday and Saturday of next week, which also raises a red flag. Why are they not booked on Friday and Saturday, but they're booked now?
Exactly. On weekdays.
They're just trying to cut you down to give you something you don't want. Like, well, we'll give you these 2 days in the middle of the week, but you have to check back in, check back out, because they're just trying to get you to not do it. And then this will be like the 3rd Hyatt that didn't do one thing for me, and besides trying to put me into a standard room, not even like a business king or any of that stuff. You got to fight with them.
Well, plus their fucking points program sucks.
Yeah.
You can't get anything with it, and we talked about that once before too. You know who needs to have a points? Is there a prostitution points program? Those women should have a points program, a rewards program.
Well, I wouldn't know about that. Prostitution rewards program. That's funny.
Wouldn't that be great? I mean, like every 5th one you get a freebie, you know?
Right.
Oh, I've reached silver status. I get a free hand job after 5.
Welcome to our Hilton Honors program. Well, you know, maybe they do in Vegas. Maybe in one of those, whatever they call the cat house or whatever it is. Maybe they have a what would they call that? The customer appreciation program or something.
Yeah, like Speedway. You buy your 7th drink is free. So if you buy 7 drinks on the rewards, you get 7 hits on the prostitution program, and your 8th one's free.
Leave it to you to bring hand jobs into this show.
Well, I could have brought up blowjobs, but you were talking about shitting, so why not? We talk about everything.
Yeah, we figure we'll take this one downhill a little bit. And then we'll get really bizarre. Like I accused the beard Peter Murray of doing a non sequitur. And he was still trying to figure out what it meant.
Oh, yeah, another one of your big pompous words. Go ahead, Jerry.
Yeah, exactly. Which just means that it's ridiculous and it's not pertaining to the discussion at all. It just means that you're saying something like out of the blue that is meaningless to the topic at hand, which is this. How bad would it be to be a kid in heaven? What do you think about that? You're stuck being a kid your entire rest of your existence.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I appreciate...
I think the phone broke up a little bit, I think, but...
that would suck. That would really suck.
Yeah, because you can't get into the heaven bar.
Right.
You know, you can't watch any heaven R-rated movies. You can't go into all the other stuff. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying.
Well, isn't a lot of that stuff in hell?
But heaven's got to have something, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Doesn't there have to be some sort of an entertainment sector in heaven? I'm not saying that they have prostitution and drugs and everything. I'm just saying that just for regular, normal people who are allowed to have sex and drink booze and do that, buy a pack of smokes, you'll be stuck as a kid forever.
Oh, yeah. Well, heaven might have a bunch of nuns running around and we may all be fucked.
Yeah, slapping you on the hands with rulers and stuff. You know what? We need to get a religion specialist. Do we know any religious specialists we can talk to about these issues?
I think we need a gluten-free religion specialist.
I know a guy. I have a cousin, David Dickerson. He was a religion specialist. Maybe he can answer this stuff. We'll have to call him.
That sounds like a
What is all that noise?
That's me making an ashtray.
Well, stop it. We're doing something here.
Well, actually, that's all the construction going on in the hotel because they're ripping up the street. So,
that again.
Yeah, so I get the grinding going on of all the fucking chiseling out concrete out in front of the hotel.
Oh. Hey, you know what I had the other night? I have to preface this with I didn't have enough time to get up and do anything because it was 3 o'clock in the morning and it woke me up.
Uh-huh.
I had like an Asian guy beating his Asian wife in the hallway.
Oh, awesome.
Wasn't awesome. It was terrible. And by the time I figured out that's what it was, they were already down the hallway. You could hear the voices go away. It was just so stupid, though, because they must have come off the elevators, came around the corner where my room is, and I hear this yelling going on. No, 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 sit down. He's like telling her to sit down. Then I hear this big thunk, like she fell against the wall across from my door or something. And then I hear all this chatter in some Asian language mixed with the word no. And then I solidly heard for sure a smack in the face, you know.
Wow.
I hear the guy say, and I don't mean to laugh, but it was almost like a cartoon. I hear the smack, and then I hear the woman go, like, then her tone changed, and like into like a kid, and then I hear him yelling again, and then the voices go down the hall. Now, I'll tell you this much. If I had caught on and I weren't laying in bed half asleep at 3 in the morning, I totally would have got up and I would have opened that door and told him to knock it the fuck off before I came out there. And got my ass beat by an Asian guy, probably.
Did security ever show up or anything?
No, and I was laying there for a while before I determined that if I try and call security, I don't know what room they're in. What are they going to do, call security, and then security's going to go check every Asian guest room that they have? Are you beating your wife?
That must be something going on in Texas, because years and years ago, I was at a courtyard in Texas for, I think it was for auto show or an energy show or something like that. And it was back when Katrina, and they relocated all the Katrina victims.
Yeah.
And I hear this ruckus outside of my room. So I open the door, and there's this half-naked woman running down the hallway, and the guy in the room across from me standing there with the door open, and she's yelling, rape. He's raping me.
What?
Yeah. So she gets to the elevator, and I looked at the guy, and the guy kind of shook his head in like bewilderment and closed his door, and I closed my door. And I'm sitting working on my laptop, and all of a sudden there's a knock at my door, and it's the Dallas Police Department.
Yeah.
And they want to get a statement from me.
Okay.
So I showed them my ID. I said, I'm from out of state. I'm in town on business. And, well, you know, we understood you witnessed what happened. I said, you know, I really don't want to give a statement because I don't want to have to come back here to be in court or whatever. I said, but between you and I, what it looked like was he got a hooker and something went wrong with the exchange of money or something, and she decided to do something like that and just run out of the hallway and make a big scene out of it. Well, come to find out what it was she was a hooker. She took his money and didn't deliver and went running down the hallway with his money, and he came chasing after her because she stole his money. Like, I do not need to be involved in any of this shit.
No, and none of that shit would have ever happened if they just had a customer loyalty system there.
Exactly, where you get the seventh one free.
Right. We're a couple of assholes because we're not. The hard thing is when you're on the road and you're in a weird place, especially downtown, you don't really want to jump out and start confronting people because you always hear people getting shot and stabbed and killed. So you have to be pretty careful. And then especially if it's between a husband and wife, because I could have gone out there and said, "Hey, Dick, quit smacking her around outside my door. You're waking me up." Like, nice. That's the point. But then she could have jumped on me and started punching me, because that happens all the time too. Then she'll stick up for the husband and whatever. So you got to do this real weird social dance to keep yourself safe if you're trying to even intervene in anything. It's weird.
Exactly.
What should we do next time this happens? Should we just turn the page and start helping everybody?
I think we should become angels and help everybody.
Maybe we should. We could be the Hyatt Angels.
Walk around and tell people about the hidden programs and the fees and what they can get on the concierge level and how they can get their room cleaned when they want it to be cleaned.
Wait a minute. I was talking about helping victims in the hallway. You're talking about...
I'm thinking about other fellow guests to deal with these idiots.
Oh, terrible. Oh, you know what just happened? I came back to the room to do this podcast, and then I think it's the cleaning people in the room next door, and there's banging on the walls like they're running into the walls or something. Mm-hmm. So I banged back. I'm starting to do that now. Whenever there's any loud banging noises next door, I'm the old man now. I should get a broomstick and do it, because I'm like bam, bam, bam on the wall just to show, hey, I got to hear this shit. What's going on?
So in the summer, do you yell at kids for walking across your lawn too, or you turn it into that old guy?
I'm going to. I haven't done that yet, but that's next on my list, on my bucket list of grumpy old man shit.
Oh, I'm turning into that guy too. Everything irritates the shit out of me. I got one of those freaking 1-800 phone calls yesterday.
Yeah.
And it was, I'd like to speak to David, please. I said, this is Davin. Hi. Hello, Mr. Davin. This is Paul with your computer service.
Yes, Paul.
And he wants to fix... I am calling in regards to the problem on your computer. I said, well,
right.
First of all, I have my own IT department, buddy, and it ain't going to work on me because the only computer I have is my work computer, and I know, Paul, that you don't work for our IT department, and hung up on him. But then I was mad because I wanted to fuck with him more. So I tried calling the 1-800 number back, and it's not in service.
Right, because it's a Skype call. And it spoofs a phone number, and then when you call it back, it's already evaporated into the cloud. I had one. I don't know if I told you this one, people. All the listeners, you'll laugh at this one. I had one of those calls, and then I got mad at him, and I finally told him to quit. I told him, I want you to look at your life. and I want you to just see...
Evaluate your life.
Yeah, evaluate your life, because what you're doing is you're trying to prey on stupid people and possibly old people and try and trick them into giving you money, and that's just fucking evil. And how do you feel about being evil like that? And you know what he told me? He told me he was going to come and find me, and he was going to fuck my wife in front of me.
Oh, perfect.
And I informed him that Lisa would rather stab herself in the face than have sex with his dumbass. And we got into a little bit of an exchange, which I really enjoyed, because it was just insults, and he's not very good at it. He was just some guy that kept saying stuff. But I thought that was pretty clever to have the guy trying to help me tell me he was going to fuck my wife
Cool. Let me talk to your supervisor, please.
Yeah. Maybe he wants to come over and give it a shot too. But I'm warning you guys that she's not going to be interested, and she'd probably slit her own throat before you even got near her.
I'm surprised Lisa didn't hunt that man down and kill him.
No, she laughed when I told her, though. Because it's ridiculous.
I love how they come up with the American names, too.
Yeah,
it's just like, Paul, this is Paul from your computer department.
Good afternoon, Mr. Taylor. My name is Clifford. No, it isn't Clifford.
Yeah, my computer department calls me on an 800 number.
Yes. I'm calling from your credit card company. Which credit card is it? Your credit card company. No, which card? Yes. Is it the MasterCard or the Visa? It's both. Shut up. What is your name anyway? My name is Fred. Yep. No, it's not Fred.
This is a special call regarding your account. Please press 1 to hear information. There's nothing wrong at this time.
Oh, I got that one yesterday. It left a message. Google read it back to me. Yes, there's nothing wrong with your account at this time. We just want to inform you that you have a chance to reduce your interest rate down to 1%. But this is the last time we're going to call you on this. This is your last chance. Yep. Thinking, we
just need to verify a few things. We need your social security number. We need 2 major credit card numbers from you and your home address.
And your PIN number and Ryan Wilson's daughter's social security number. And yeah, they have it's been, I don't know how many last chances they've given me. It's like more last chances than the Who did final tours.
Or Kiss.
Right.
Or Eagles or any of those guys.
Right.
The farewell tour. Woo!
This is your final offer. Oh, okay. I'll see you next week. You know what? It's already time, my friend.
It is. You know what? We still didn't hit on all the topics. We should just roll right into another one after this, maybe.
I don't want to do that.
Ah, fuck you, Jerry.
I know. But I found if we try and do 2 in a row, the second one is always shitty because we're just picking up on the other ones. But we can do another one in a couple of days because I will be going into run of show, and the show starts later and whatever, and we'll find a spot that work won't get mad about.
Now, when does your show end? Sunday?
Sunday, yeah.
Okay, and then are you home for a little bit, or you go right to another one?
Then I will be home, and a couple weeks after that, I will be in Birmingham, Alabama.
Okay, see, I go right from this one to Fort Lauderdale. So our next show, I'll be in Fort Lauderdale, and you'll be at home.
Yeah, because I did this. I took, because our season stretches so long and we work every day of the week for 12 to 14 hours a day, I decided to take off. I'll get home on a Tuesday, so I took Wednesday and Thursday off, and then Friday is Good Friday.
Oh, nice. Let
me ask you this. You're an employee.
Uh-huh.
Do we have to go in Good Friday? Because it says you get paid for a half a day.
I would take a half a day unpaid or a half a day paid and not go in.
That's what I'm going to do. Yep. I'll just fill out the sheet that way. This is all interesting to the listeners, but I want to find out because I don't want to just pull the dumb card and just say I didn't know what to do, so I stayed home. Yeah. So I'll do it right. Hey, just as an aside, when you have a day that you take as a personal / vacation day, do you have to fill out a timesheet for that day and put down vacation or what?
Yes. Okay. I fill it out just to make sure it goes through, that they don't miss it.
Thank you, sir.
I'm on day 80.
Thanks you.
I know. I'm on day 82 straight right now, so I need to put in for after Fort Lauderdale a couple days off as well, because I haven't been home in forever.
Right. Do you remember Christmas. What home looks like?
I can look at it on my security camera, but just the inside.
Just the inside. Does your roommate Bob know that there's a security camera there?
Yeah, he does. Yep. And there's only one. I haven't put up multiple ones.
Because right now I'm picturing Bob wearing nothing but underwear and a kimono cooking. And like
teabagging my shit.
No, not that one. That's old news. Teabagging everything in the room. But I'm picturing him like kind of twirling around, dancing with a spatula in his hand, with wearing a flowered kimono and just like old fashioned. What do they call those? Like jockey shorts, not boxers or tighty whities, but those old like Speedo style ones.
Rubbing himself down with these therapeutic oils.
Yeah, looking like maybe from the Dallas. What was that? The Dallas something club. Remember the movie about AIDS?
Oh, the Buyers Club.
Yeah, he was like in the Dallas Buyers Club.
Oh,
Bob's gonna hate me. He's gonna listen to this. I'll get a text that says "Fuck you, Jerry." You pompous dick. I don't have a kimono that's got flowers on it. It's got dragons on it.
It's got dragons and starfish.
Right. I know it's weird, but it's comforting.
Oh, okay, Jerry. Well, that's the show, buddy.
Yes, it is. Thanks, everybody, for listening, and make sure you tell all your friends about all the things you learned about poop today. And we'll see you next week.
Pop Wheelie, guys.